It's getting to be number one, Dennis. Okay? That first number right there is the percent of the cash discount. The second number is the discount available within this many days of the date invoice is issued. So basically what this is how many days you have to get discount. Okay, that's what that 10 number means. And the 30 over here, this is the net price must be paid by then. So in our scenario where I said that CERTA is giving that Sleep Number store that much money or whatever, they might say, I'm going to give you a 2% off if you pay it within 10 days, but you have 30 days to pay it. Meaning if I do the bill right away, I get a discount right away, rather than if I wait. So what would be the advantage, do you guys think, of having it be where we wait? Why do companies wait instead of doing the discount? Okay, more money. Sometimes companies, when they do things, they wait till the last minute because maybe they don't have the funds available for that particular purchase. And a lot of times, especially in school stuff, we wait till July 1st to order new things because that's when the new fiscal year starts, because the budget has been approved for things already. So a lot of times that does happen. All right, so that's why sometimes you would want to. Me as a consumer, I think trying to pay it off as early as possible to get any kind of break on it would be beneficial, right? Don't you think? Okay, so the formulas that we're going to use for this thing have the cash discount, is going to equal the net price multiplied by the cash discount rate. Yeah, ran in a room there. And what's the rate usually as, Darren?
The what?
What's a rate usually expressed as?
Percent.
Good. As a percent. To figure out the cash price, we take the net price minus that cash discount. Yeah, I can't write that number for a letter today. And then another way of doing it would be this way, and this is kind of what we did yesterday with that complement stuff, is we could take the cash price and we could take the net price multiplied by the complement of the cash discount rate. And again, what's a compliment besides me saying you got a nice shirt on today? Although I wouldn't say that to you because you got a cowboy shirt on.
Ooh,
I'm not a fan of
I'm
Cowboys,
just teasing
so
you.
it's
Yeah.
alright.
But what's a compliment?
The opposite number.
What do you mean by opposite number?
The number that you take by 100.
Yeah, to get the 100. Right. Okay. Job, Tristan. Okay, so if you look at number 1 on page 503, it says the date is July 8th. The terms are 33.10, and then it's got N30 in the back like that. Okay? The net price is $640. Now to go through this again, this number right here is the percent off. This is how many days to get discount. And then this is payment by. Or payment due, we'll say. It's probably a better word for it. Okay, so first of all, it says find the last day the discount can be taken. So how many days does it give us? For the discount, it gives us 10, right? So if we're July 8th and we add 10 days to that, what's the date? Right. So number 1 is July 18th. Number 2, it says find the last day to pay the invoice. When is it due? How many days do you get? 30. Now here's what the common mistake is with the calendar. Okay, if I add that together, right, if I take 8 plus 30, I get 38, and there's no such thing as a July 38th. So then a lot of people, what they do is they just assume it's August 8th, which is also not true because there are how many days in July? 31. Okay, so for this particular thing, if I did what Dennis was saying when he said there is no July 38th, but that's a good thing to understand, is that if I were to take 8 plus 30, I get 38, and we know that there's not 38 days, and then I minus out how many days were in the month, which would be 31, and I get the 7th of August. Okay, that's how I'd figure out number 2. Now, if you're not sure of how to figure out how many days are in a month, I'm going to show you the knuckle technique. Okay? If you start on your knuckle right here, that's January. January has how many days? 31. Then I go in between my 2 knuckles. That would represent February. How many days does February have? 28, except or 29 every 4 years. Then I go to the top of my knuckle again, and that would be what? March. March has 31 days. Then I go in between, that's April. April does not. April has 30. May, how many days does May have? 31. Then in between is June. June has 30. July, on top of a knuckle, has how many days? 31. Then I start over on the knuckle. August has how many days? 31. September's in between. 30. October, 31. November, 30. December, 31. Anytime I was on top of a knuckle, I had 31 days. Anytime I'm not, I don't. Just remember that February has 28 most of the time, or every 4 years it has 29. Okay? Does everybody make sense of that? That's one way to do it if you don't know how many days are in the month. Okay? That's something that I've done and used. Now, it says find the cash discount. Okay? So first of all, to get the cash discount, I'm going to take that $640 and I'm going to multiply it by what? What percent off was it giving you? No? 3%. Remember, that's the first number. What's 640 times 3%? How much? $19.20. You didn't move you moved your decimal not over far enough, Tristan. Remember, if it's 3%, it's got to go over 2 places. Okay? Then in order to figure out the cash price, I take that $640, which I'm kind of out of room on, so I'm going to just erase this part. That's 640, and I subtract out the 1920, and how much money do I have? 620 and 80 cents. So my bill of $640 is really only going to be $620.80 if I pay it off in 10 days. Now, is that a lot of savings? $19.20, is that a big savings? Not really, but that's also $19.20 that you wouldn't have to spend. Right? So could you use that towards something else in your shop? Or whatever that it is that you need. Maybe that's one extra pillow that you didn't have to have. Right? Okay. Number 5 on the next page says find the cash price using the complement method. Now this time it's going to be the same concept, except for we're going to do a little bit differently. It still has 310 and net 30. Okay, the net price is $640. Now the last two answers that we did for 3 and 4 are what we're doing for this particular case. Okay, the complement method. If I'm giving you 3% off right here, what's the complement of 3%? 97. And like we said earlier, or like Tristan said, it was because it was whatever added up to be 100. Everybody okay with that? All right, now, once you know that the complement is 97, then I take it times this number, so 0.97, and I get an answer. What is $640 times 0.97? 620.8. Was it the same as the last two? Or last answer? Yeah. Should it have been? Yeah. Which way is easier? You decide that. Okay? Me personally, I don't care which way you do it. I want you to be comfortable with one of the two ways, whether you use the complement method or whether you use the other method.
Number 5 is 97%.
No, number 5 is the one I circled. The 620/80. What they're doing on that one, Dennis, is that they're trying to get you to see that there's just another way of doing it. Okay? Now on number 6, it says that the terms are 5/15, and you have a net of 45. And then it goes on to say that the net price is $8,994. How much percent off are they giving you if you pay it within so many X amount of days? What number tells me that? Emily? 5. Which one was that? I told you that? Which number told you that? Yeah, that one. That first one tells us how many or what percent you're getting off. If I'm using the complement method, what's the complement of 5? 95. So the complement was 95, so I take that times 0.95, and 8,994 times 0.95 gives us $8,544.30. Now looking at those two numbers, the first one was only $19.20 or whatever it was. This is close to, this is over $400. Is that a big chunk of savings? Yeah, I would think so. Okay, and it's only 5%. If it would have been a higher percent, imagine how much money you would have saved. So keep that in mind. And that doesn't, granted, we're looking at this in terms of us ordering something, but even as a consumer, if they're going to say if you pay it off earlier, it might be a good thing to do. Okay, so on 7 through 10, it's giving you a chart. And on the first thing that you have to do, way down on 9 and 10, it says last day to take the discount, last day to pay the invoice. That's what this number is trying to tell us right here. That number tells us how many days that you have to pay off the entire bill. And this number right here is trying to tell you how many days you have to take advantage of the discount. Okay? So on number 7, when they say the invoice date is 4/09 and the terms are 210 net 30, the last day to take the discount is 4/19. All they did was took 9 plus 10. And then when they got 5/09, they took 9 plus 30. They noticed that that would have been 39, and as Dennis put, that's too many days. But then April only has how many days? 30. And 39 minus 30 is 9. So that's 9 days into the next month. So it would be 9 days into May. Then the rest of that part when it says date paid. So if you're looking at what that person did, if they pay it outside of the last date to take the discount, do they get a discount? Do you get a discount, Caleb, if you pay it after that last day of taking within the dates to do it? No. So on this particular case, if I said that it was, let's just start with, what month are we in, February? If I said February 1st was the invoice date, what would be 15 days after that? February 16th would be the dates that I could partake in that. Right now, it's February 20th. If I paid it on February 20th, do I get the discount? No. So keep that in mind when you look at the chart when it says what's the discount, and if you pay it after the date, you don't get that. So what's your answer then for the discount? A big fat zero. You don't get that discount. You don't get to subtract that money. So if you pay it after the amount or after the date that it says that you can, the last date to partake in it, you don't get it. Okay, you don't get that extra money off. Okay, so then there might be a couple of them where it says zero. Then 11 and 12 is doing the same things that we have been doing. It's just asking when's the last date to take the discount, what's the last day to make the payment, what's the cash price. Okay, same type of scenario that we've been doing. All right. So on this one, we're on page 503 to 504, 1 through 12.
Is that easier to use?
What, this?
Yeah.